Hey there, fellow knowledge seeker. Today we're going to be cracking open uh, Jonathan Haidt's The Happiness Hypothesis.
Oh, good choice.
Have you ever felt like
Yeah.
there's like this hidden blueprint for happiness?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we could just figure out the formula,
Yeah.
we'd unlock like lasting joy. Well, this book kind of does that in a way.
Okay.
It blends ancient wisdom with modern psychology
Right.
to explore that very question, what really makes us happy.
It's not about like a simple recipe, though.
Right.
What makes Haidt's work so captivating is the way he weaves together these ideas
Yeah.
from like philosophy and science, showing how those age-old insights are often validated by modern research.
Mm.
It's a reminder
Yeah.
that the pursuit of happiness has been like a central human concern
For centuries.
for centuries. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for you, dear listener,
Yeah.
I think this deep dive will be right up your alley. Remember how you mentioned you love getting to the core of complex topics without feeling overwhelmed? Yeah.
I do.
That's exactly what we're going for here.
Right, and one of the most powerful tools
Yeah.
Haidt gives us is this metaphor of the rider and the elephant.
Okay.
He suggests that our minds are like an elephant, our emotional, instinctive side
Mm-hmm.
with a rider,
Okay.
our rational, thinking side trying to steer.
This idea really resonated with me.
Yeah.
Think about those times you struggled with willpower.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you should choose the salad,
Right.
but the elephant craves that juicy burger.
Every time.
It's not just about lacking willpower.
Right.
It's about understanding the dynamic between our emotions and our reasoning.
Precisely. It's a profound insight into the divided self, that tension between what we know we should do and what we actually feel like doing.
Yeah,
This explains why so many self-improvement efforts fail.
totally.
We're trying to force the elephant to change direction
Right.
instead of learning to work with it.
Yeah, it's like trying to lead a parade with a stubborn elephant at the front.
Yeah.
But how do we work with this elephant then?
Well, Haidt argues that happiness isn't just about
Okay.
what's going on inside our heads. It's also heavily influenced
Right.
by our connections with others. This ties into ancient philosophies like Buddhism, which emphasizes compassion and interconnectedness.
Interesting.
And guess what? Modern psychology is starting to back this up too.
So it's not just about achieving inner peace through things like mindfulness and gratitude,
Right.
although those are incredibly important,
Yes, definitely.
but also about cultivating meaningful relationships.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
It's about recognizing that happiness thrives in this like rich tapestry of connections, in the give and take of love, friendship, and community.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. It's like individual happiness is woven into a larger social fabric. So while cultivating inner peace is crucial,
Yeah.
nurturing those connections is equally vital.
Now, this brings us to another fascinating concept. Haidt explores the adaptation principle.
Okay.
It explains why that initial thrill of a new car or a promotion
Oh, yeah?
eventually fades.
It does.
We humans are incredibly adaptable creatures,
That's true.
and we tend to return to a like baseline level of happiness even after major life changes.
I can definitely relate to that. That new phone excitement wears off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that mean
Yeah.
we're stuck on this, like, happiness treadmill,
Yeah,
constantly chasing after the next big thing?
that's a great question.
Yeah.
And it leads us to one of Haidt's key suggestions. Focus on experiences over material possessions.
Interesting.
The joy of that new gadget might fade,
Yes.
but the memories of a trip you took, a concert you saw, a meaningful conversation, those tend to linger
Right.
and bring joy long after the event itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Instead of chasing fleeting material highs, we should invest in experiences that create lasting memories.
Right.
It reminds me of that saying, collect moments, not things.
I love that.
What's an experience that's brought you lasting joy, dear listener? Think about how vivid that memory still is.
And here's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
Haidt introduces his happiness formula.
Okay.
H equals S plus C plus V.
Hmm.
Now, before you think this is like some complicated mathematical equation, let me break it down.
Okay.
H represents your overall level of happiness.
Makes sense.
S stands for your set point,
Huh.
which is basically
Yeah.
your genetic predisposition to happiness.
So some of us are naturally wired to be a bit more cheerful than others.
Exactly.
Okay.
And research suggests that our set point plays a significant role in our overall happiness levels.
Interesting.
C refers to your circumstances, things like your job, relationships, health, and financial situation.
Okay.
While these factors certainly impact our well-being,
Yeah.
Haidt argues that they often have less influence than we think.
Hold on. Are you saying that winning the lottery or getting that dream job wouldn't make us as happy as we think?
Not necessarily.
Really?
The adaptation principle comes into play here again.
I see.
We might experience a surge of joy initially,
Yeah.
but over time, we tend to adjust to our new circumstances,
Okay.
and our happiness levels often return to their baseline.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So if our genes and circumstances have limited impact,
Right.
what can we do to boost our happiness?
That's where the V in the equation comes in.
Okay.
It stands for voluntary activities, the things we choose to do, the habits we cultivate, the ways we engage with the world. This is where we have real agency,
Okay.
the power to shape our own happiness.
It's like we're not just passengers on this happiness journey.
Right.
We're actually in the driver's seat.
Precisely. And the research backs this up.
So.
Studies show that engaging in activities that align with our values, cultivating positive emotions like gratitude and compassion,
Right.
and nurturing our relationships can significantly impact our overall well-being.
This reminds me of the times I volunteered or helped someone in need.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it took effort,
Yeah.
I felt a genuine sense of fulfillment afterward.
That's a perfect example
Yeah.
of the V in action. And it leads us to another fascinating aspect of Haidt's work,
Okay.
the exploration of virtue and meaning.
Okay.
Drawing on the wisdom of philosophers like Aristotle and Confucius,
Why?
he argues that aligning our actions with our values leads to a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment.
Okay.
It's not just about feeling good, it's about being good, about living a life that reflects our deepest principles.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where our actions are in harmony with our values.
Yes.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
It is.
Okay.
And this connects to another intriguing concept that Haidt explores,
Okay.
transcendence. He suggests that connecting to something larger than ourselves, whether it's through spirituality, nature, art, or acts of service, right?
Can bring a profound sense of meaning and purpose to our lives.
So it's about tapping into something bigger than our individual selves.
Yeah.
About finding a sense of awe and wonder
Right.
in the world around us. It makes me wonder what transcendence looks like for you, dear listener. What are those experiences that make you feel connected to something greater than yourself?
Yeah, it's a good question. And that sense of connection is a perfect segue into another essential ingredient in the happiness equation, love and relationships.
Okay.
Haidt dives deep into the profound impact of love on our well-being, drawing on both ancient wisdom and modern research.
Yeah, it's more than just that warm, fuzzy feeling, right? I mean, we've all heard that love makes the world go round.
Right.
But what does science have to say about it?
It turns out that love isn't just a sentimental notion.
Right.
It's a powerful force that shapes our brains,
Okay.
our emotions,
Yeah.
and even our physical health.
Ah.
Research shows that strong social connections
Are linked to a longer lifespan, a lower blood pressure,
Really?
and a stronger immune system.
Huh.
Love in all its forms
Right.
is deeply intertwined with our well-being.
So those warm fuzzies actually have some serious scientific backing.
They do.
But Haidt doesn't just talk about the benefits of love.
Yeah,
He also delves into the science of it, right?
absolutely.
Like what's actually happening in our brains when we experience love.
He explores the neurochemicals at play,
Okay.
like dopamine and oxytocin,
Right.
which flood our brains when we experience love and connection.
Interesting.
He also digs into attachment theory,
Okay.
exploring how our early relationships shape our emotional patterns
Right.
and our capacity for intimacy throughout life.
That makes me think about the importance of emotional attunement in relationships, something you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Could you explain that a bit more? What exactly does it mean to be emotionally attuned with someone?
Emotional attunement is the ability to understand and respond to another person's emotions in a way that makes them feel seen, heard, and validated.
Okay.
It's not about like perfectly mirroring their emotions or always agreeing with them, but rather creating a space where they feel safe to express themselves authentically. Imagine like a dance where both partners are moving in sync, responding to each other's cues with sensitivity and understanding.
I like that.
That's what emotional attunement feels like in a relationship.
So it's like being able to read each other's emotional cues and respond in a way that deepens the connection.
Exactly.
That makes me wonder, dear listener, How does emotional attunement play out in your own close relationships? Do you feel comfortable sharing your vulnerabilities?
Hmm.
Do you feel understood by the other person?
Those are great questions to reflect on. And here's where Haidt takes us on a thought-provoking turn. He explores the role of adversity in our lives. And it's honestly one of the most powerful insights in the book. He argues that challenges, even painful ones,
Wow.
can actually foster growth and resilience.
Wait, so he's saying that going through tough times can actually make us happier.
Right.
That seems kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It is.
I mean, how can struggling with hardship possibly lead to greater happiness?
It's not about glorifying suffering
Okay.
or pretending that pain is enjoyable.
Right.
But hate challenges us to see hardship as an inevitable part of the human experience and to recognize that it often holds the seeds of transformation.
Interesting.
He draws on ancient philosophies like Stoicism, which emphasize accepting what we cannot control
Right.
and focusing on what we can.
So it's not about denying the pain or trying to force ourselves to be happy in the midst of hardship,
No.
but rather about finding ways to navigate those challenges
Right.
with wisdom and resilience.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that our struggles can refine us, like a blacksmith hammering a piece of metal into a stronger, more resilient form. It's often through those difficult experiences that we discover our inner strength, our capacity for compassion, and our ability to find meaning even in the midst of pain.
It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
But hate goes beyond just a catchy phrase, right?
Yeah,
He actually delves into the psychological mechanisms behind this phenomenon.
he does. And modern research on post-traumatic growth supports his claims.
Interesting.
Studies have found that people who faced significant adversity
Okay.
often report experiencing positive psychological changes,
Like what?
such as a deeper appreciation for life,
Okay.
stronger relationships,
Mhm.
a renewed sense of purpose,
Right.
and even spiritual growth.
Wow.
It's not that they enjoyed going through those tough times,
Right.
but they were able to extract meaning and growth
Mm.
from those experiences.
That's incredible. It's like those challenges crack them open in a way,
Yeah.
allowing them to tap into a deeper well of resilience and wisdom.
Mhm.
Do you have any personal examples of this, or maybe a well-known figure?
Well, without getting into personal details,
Sure.
I think we can all recall stories of individuals,
Mhm.
maybe athletes or artists,
Okay.
who faced incredible obstacles
Yeah.
and emerged from those experiences
Yeah.
with a newfound sense of purpose
Right.
and an inspiring message for the world. Think of someone like Malala Yousafzai,
Oh, yeah.
who was shot by the Taliban for speaking out in favor of education for girls.
Right.
Instead of being defeated, she became a global advocate for education, demonstrating extraordinary courage and resilience in the face of unimaginable adversity.
Wow, that's powerful.
Her story, and countless others like it,
Right.
remind us that even in the darkest of times,
Mhm.
the human spirit can find ways to rise and even thrive.
That's such a powerful reminder. It's like that quote, the wound is the place where the light enters you.
I love that.
But it's not just about overcoming huge life-altering challenges, right?
Yeah.
It's about applying this mindset
Right.
to the everyday struggles we all face.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about recognizing that even those like seemingly small setbacks, a failed project,
Yeah.
a difficult conversation,
Mhm.
a personal disappointment can be opportunities for growth. It's about shifting our perspective
Okay.
from seeing challenges as roadblocks
Yeah.
to seeing them as stepping stones
Right.
on our path to becoming more resilient and resourceful individuals.
So it's about cultivating that anti-fragile mindset,
Mhm.
as Nassim Taleb might say.
Mm-hmm.
But how does this all tie back to the rider and the elephant metaphor?
Right.
How do we work with our emotions and our rational minds
Mm-hmm.
to navigate those inevitable challenges? It sounds like we're talking about like a delicate dance
Yeah.
between acceptance and action.
Right.
We can't just passively accept every challenge that comes our way,
Right.
but we also can't let the elephant run wild
Yeah.
with fear and resistance.
No.
How do we strike that balance?
That's the art of it, isn't it?
Uh.
And this is where the writer our rational mind,
That's-
plays a crucial role.
Okay.
The writer can't force the elephant to change direction,
Right.
but it can gently guide it, nudge it towards a more constructive path. It's about cultivating self-awareness, recognizing those negative thought patterns and emotional reactions, and then choosing more helpful responses.
So it's like the writer is a compassionate coach,
Yeah.
helping the elephant understand
Yeah.
its own strength and resilience.
Exactly.
But what about when the elephant is really spooked?
Yeah.
What about those times when we're facing, truly overwhelming challenges?
Those are the moments when we need to draw on all the tools in our happiness toolkit.
Okay.
Mindfulness, gratitude, connection, meaning.
Right.
It's about recognizing that we don't have to go through those challenges alone.
Yeah.
We can lean on our support systems,
Mm.
seek professional guidance, and remind ourselves of the values and beliefs
Right.
that give us strength.
It sounds like Haidt is giving us a framework for understanding the complexities of human happiness.
Yeah.
Not just a set of quick fixes or
Right.
easy answers.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
not offering a one-size-fits-all solution,
Right.
but rather a nuanced exploration of the factors that contribute to well-being.
Yeah.
He reminds us that happiness is a journey,
Hmm.
not a destination.
That's true.
There will be ups and downs, moments of joy and moments of sorrow, but it's the overall trajectory
Yeah.
that matters.
Thinking back on everything we've discussed,
Yeah.
the divided self, the happiness formula, the power of love and connection,
Right.
the unexpected role of adversity.
Yeah.
It's almost like a roadmap for a more fulfilling life. But it's not like a paint-by-numbers kind of thing, is it?
It's more like an artist's palette
Okay.
with a variety of colors and tools at our disposal. It's up to us to experiment, to find the combinations that work best for us, and to create our own unique masterpiece of a life.
And maybe the most important lesson is that we're not just passive observers in this process.
Right.
We have more agency
Yeah.
than we often realize. We can choose how we respond to challenges,
Right.
how we cultivate our inner world, and how we engage with the world around us.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? We have the power to shape our own happiness. It's not about achieving some permanent state of bliss, but rather about cultivating a deeper sense of well-being, resilience, and purpose.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about embracing the whole human experience with all its messiness and complexity and finding ways to navigate it with more awareness, intention, and even a sense of humor.
And here's a final thought-provoking question for our listeners. Knowing what we've learned about the writer and the elephant, about the interplay of reason and emotion, what's one small step you could take today to nudge yourself towards greater happiness? It could be practicing gratitude, reaching out to a friend, spending time in nature, or pursuing a creative endeavor. The possibilities are endless.
What a wonderful way to wrap up this deep dive into the happiness hypothesis. It's been an incredible journey exploring these ideas with you, and I hope our listeners have found it just as insightful and inspiring. Remember, dear listener, happiness is not some elusive, far-off goal, but a series of choices we make each and every day. Keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep nurturing that beautiful, complex being that is you.